Here we are, another Thursday, Between the Lines. A lot of politics this year, folks, everywhere, Knoxville, Nashville, Washington, but also in Roane County. And we've talked to one candidate for county executive, and now we're going to talk to another candidate, the Mayor of Harriman. We're going to talk to tonight. Wayne, you got your sign back there. Thank you for helping sponsor our show. But this way I won't call you Wayne, John West or something. This helps me a lot at my age.
Okay.
But Wayne has been the mayor of Harriman for 6 years. He followed Chris Mason up there. Chris, I'm going to be kind for a while. I don't know if I'll make it through the whole show. But Chris is a good friend of mine. Just a great area up there, and he's done a lot. Has had his own business for, I guess, 20-plus years, right, Wayne?
Yep.
And we're going to learn a little bit about Wayne and give Roane County families and people something to think about. They got 4 choices, is the way I understand it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Did you grow up there?
I grew up, started out in Kingston, went there to kindergarten.
Okay.
Moved to Rockwood, stayed till 6th grade. From 6th grade, went to
Was it
Harriman.
Kingston Elementary then, not Roane County High School?
Yes.
Good. That means you're in good areas.
And then went to Rockwood till 6th grade, then went to Harriman and finished out my schooling in Harriman and been there the rest of my life.
Oh, that's a great thing, because no matter where you give a speech, you can say something like, I was here. I
Yes.
mean, that's a great attribute. But anyway, Harriman means a lot to you. I can tell it's not fun being in municipal government. I've been in county government that portion of my life, a decade, and it's a thankless kind of job sometimes. I mean, it's rewarding to you for getting things done, but, my buddies in the mayor's jobs used to say it's a dog catcher's job. It's always one complaint after another. Tell me a little bit about you, and we'll talk about you getting into it, but you were a football player, right?
Played football in high school, played a little baseball, played a little basketball. I am right now the current assistant coach of basketball and baseball at our middle school.
Okay.
And so I'm still in coaching, but I'm married, got 5 children.
Okay.
7
Good for you.
grandchildren.
Good for you.
1 on the way. So,
wow. That's
it's
fantastic.
a very active family.
Tell me what you do in Harriman. What's your social life? I don't want to put any concepts in my mind, but what's a given week like in your family with 5 kids and all them grandkids?
We're at a ball field somewhere.
Yeah, there you go.
All of our grandkids play. I have a son that is in 7th grade going into 8th grade, so he's playing too. So we're usually at a ball field. If we're not at a ball field, I enjoy playing golf a little bit. And being the mayor. The mayor takes a lot of time that people don't realize, but to do a job right and to do it good, it takes a lot of time, a lot of investment.
So you graduated from high school in the 80s?
87.
Okay, 87. It's about Brad's age, and so you got out of there and you went to school, went to work. What'd you do?
My senior year in high school, I co-opted, took English and co-opted and went straight to work. Started a family as a senior in high school.
Good for you.
And had my first daughter, and so I went into the work field and have worked all my life. I didn't get to go back to school. I took some classes at UT, some leadership classes,
Sure.
some at Tech. But
there's good programs out there.
Very good programs.
Yeah.
Done some. I was a fire chief for 10 years in Harriman.
Huh.
Took some classes when I was a fire chief, but basically worked my whole life.
Well, that's what we need. We need people with some perspective on things. Like MTAS classes, you be Harriman, you be MTAS, right? We were CTAS. So,
Yes.
I mean, same thing. We learned a lot. They have some good stuff. Extensions
stuff.
from UT, and they get a lot of stuff done. You can learn a lot about basic management of government and stuff.
You sure can.
So, your kids play ball? What's the range of them?
Yeah, my oldest daughter is 36.
Wow.
My youngest son is 13.
Wow.
So there's a big gap.
Sure.
The 13-year-old, I guess, was, we wasn't really planning. We thought that we was done raising the kids and enjoying life, me and my wife more so, but
God works in mysterious ways.
one of the best blessings we've ever had.
Absolutely.
My kids are great. I have one daughter is a teacher at elementary school there.
Right.
I have another daughter that works at the labs at Oak Ridge.
Okay.
I have another daughter that runs our local business. And
Okay.
I have a son that works in Knoxville, and then the one that is going to Harriman Middle School.
Wow. I have been most people know out there, I've been in politics since 77, 78 when I got out of college. So my question is, do you regret ever doing it?
No. No, I love it because I love giving back. I love
Yeah.
giving back to the people. You know, the excitement that you see on their faces when you
Sure.
do something new. You know, we just opened a splash pad in Harriman last year, one of the biggest in the area. And
Where's that at?
It's down beside the community center.
Okay.
We worked hard on getting a grant. When I ran for mayor, there's three things that I'd done, and that's listen, learn, and lead.
Okay.
And so I listened to the people. They wanted something for our kids to do. And splash pads seemed to be the most reasonable thing to do. So we went out and started working on a grant. I went to Nashville probably at least 4 times trying to work on this grant to bring this splash
Would this
pad
be a
back.
block grant, rec grant? Yeah,
Yes,
I've done a few of those.
LPRF
Yeah.
grant.
Yeah, LPRF.
And we got almost $1 million, and we built a splash pad, and we put some work into one of the other parks, the Fred Davis Park. And the splash pad, if you go by there any given day, it is packed. It gives our...
So I'm coming in from Oliver Springs, I'm coming up Harriman Highway, or whatever the proper names are, and I go into town, the high school or whatever's on the left. Where's the splash
You
pad?
can turn right there to high school on the
Okay.
Emory,
Okay.
come right around. Paper mill used to sit right along the river. The community center is right there.
Okay.
It sits right there.
And the
Splash pad is right beside the river.
What is that? Is there slides, or how's that work?
No, it's just fountains, different kind of
Okay.
things that spray water out and stuff. But it is one of the biggest in the area.
Okay.
And it's been, but seeing the kids' faces, you know, when you can give back, that's what.
There's a lot of challenged people in
There
here. I mean,
is.
they're in that area of the county, and when I say challenged, I mean they're working class people. And 9% inflation doesn't help them, and $4.60 gas, and those are the people who make us really great. And having something like that for their kids to do makes a difference, I think.
It does, and you know, we've done the same thing at a Riverfront Park. We're fixing to extend it even more. Putting a boat ramp down there, putting a big 100-foot dock down there. So we've spent about $1.5 million in the last 2 years down there.
Okay.
But giving back and letting our community build pride back in who we are.
Yep.
You know, one of the biggest.
What defines Harriman? What is Harriman? Who is Harriman? Over 50 years, who would you call him? What would you call Harriman? What's his identity?
Harriman's a very historical town.
It is a historical
It is
town.
built on the great temperance movement back in the 1890s, and but Harriman is full of history.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have forgot about the history and forgot to push the history. But if you'll come to Harriman, you'll learn a lot of history.
I have a story about almost everywhere. I've lived everywhere, done everything. But my Harriman story is this. When I was at Oak Ridge High School and I was a junior, I went to play baseball for Oakdale. I was pretty good. But Hollis Ebel's son, Jay, was even better. And Jay was the left-hander and I was the right-hander. And Jay ended up being a dentist in Harriman and had a career there. But I'm telling you, when he came off the top with that left-hand ball, that was a whipping thing. I mean, we went to Memphis State and on, but he was Sandy Koufax at 17.
Yeah.
What a great guy. So we used to always go up to Harriman and practice. Oakdale had a little field, but we had to come down the mountain to practice. And that was a good experience for me, being an Oak Ridge kid, and Yankee parents and everything, getting up there and doing it. But Hollis worked with my dad at the plant, and he was a real blessing to that community. I liked Hollis Ebel.
And I coach with Jay. You
Did
know,
you?
me and Jay, I've got a son the same age as
Yeah.
his son Jason, and they
Okay.
played ball all the way from Little League all the way through high school. And Jason was an outstanding pitcher,
Yeah.
same as his dad. So I got to coach with Jay. We're good friends. Good guy.
All right, let me tell you something. I've watched Bob, had a chance to do some in Middle Tennessee State and some other things, and I was friends with the Pittsburgh Pirate players in the 80s and 90s. That was a good time, too, to be friends with those guys, Van Slack and all them, and mainly the football guys, but Mel Blunt and I were close friends. But I was there 12 years, but I'm telling you, I never saw anybody. I watch them pitch. I'd be on field. Jay Ebel brought it at 90, low and mid-90s before that was a popular thing to do.
Right.
And he had a wicked curveball with that left hand. It was just, I had a double one time when I was on another team, and it just made contact. I mean, we think we had 2 hits that night, but he was great. He was just great. And how's he doing? Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's retired, enjoying life, fishing a lot. You know, he played adult league in Knoxville for a long time.
Did he? Yeah, that's a pretty competitive league. O'Brien and a lot of those UT players played over there. One of my good friends, Bill Oden, who started 4 years at UT, a little older than Jay and I, but he 4 or 5 years older. He started at UT at Oak Ridge. Last player to ever get a scholarship there. We've had a few go to the major leagues, but Harriman's a great baseball town.
It is, and it's known for baseball.
Yeah.
You know, down at the Papermaker, you know, we used to have a small professional team down there. So it's got a lot of history.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So How are the sports teams now? I mean, how is the community? I mean, like Harriman, the high school always had an identity. One high school still in that area, right?
Yes.
Unless you go to, and next time you go Rockwood up the road, obviously, right? Rockwood's smaller.
We're getting close to the same size. Rockwood's maybe just a tad smaller, but not much.
Okay,
we're all in single A.
Okay, that's good.
So,
see, I follow Cofield, so I know a little bit about Cofield because my wife's from there, and you got to follow Cofield if your wife's from there.
I
mean, it don't matter.
Follow the wife.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets. I mean, you know, and they got great sports traditions. So for a small town like that,
they have some of the best. I mean, you know, every year you're thinking, how do you beat Cofield? But Harriman's had some great teams. Here recently, we've been known more for basketball. We've been to the state, you know.
I went one year. I watched you about 4 or 5 years ago. I watched,
And so we've got a real good basketball program. Got a good football program and baseball program, softball. Volleyball has got really good in Harriman. The girls' volleyball team last year went very far. Girls' softball team went to the state last year. So sports is very good in Harriman right now.
I went to my political work. I went to Overton County, Fentress County, and some other areas, and traveled up into East Tennessee to do some work, research work. And every election commissioner, mayor, whoever I'm visiting or talking to, the influx of families has been incredible. Like in Overton, they've had, I think, 1,700 new registered voters in the last 18 months from Midwest to East. Same thing in Fentress, 1,100. People are moving in. Rural areas are growing. Are you seeing influx into Harriman at all in that part of the county?
Mainly what we're seeing in Harriman is sales tax has completely went out the roof. As far as revenues.
Based on the internet?
Based on, we've added a lot of new buildings.
Okay.
A lot of new business. Downtown is full now. When I became mayor, we had about 4 shops down there. Now we're full, you know, with over 40 shops. The Midtown area, which is part of Harriman, we're growing in that area.
How far do you go over?
We go all the way over to Midtown and go up past the hospital, the Roane Medical Center. And once you pass Roane Medical Center, then you go back out into the county. When you turn, like you're going to Kingston, not far, just right.
So how much of Midtown is inside the city limits of Harriman? Anything?
Just the Lowe's, Kroger's, all the shopping center side.
Right off that exit?
Yes.
50.
All that's inside the city of Harriman. But as far as housing,
that's right. You do that cutoff there. When you're going on the interstate, if you go right down the hill, you go into Harriman. If you go left into Midtown, I keep thinking you got to go all the way around, but you don't. You're right above it on the hill. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And we've got some big developments.
That's big sales tax there.
Big sales tax.
But the big news is, and we talk about, if Mrs. Jones up on the hill in Harriman orders $200 from Amazon, you're getting sales tax.
We're getting sales tax.
We didn't used to
get
get
it. We just started getting that.
That's right, last year. That's right.
And it's very important. People don't realize
Anderson's
how much.
getting $400,000 a month.
Yeah, and I think Roane County is. I don't think we're getting that much, but I think we're getting close. I look at the sales tax between all of us cities. I keep up with it each month, and you know, Harriman right now is averaging somewhere around 400,000 or a little bit more, just the city of Harriman, with a population of about 5,800 people. So we're doing really good on sales tax. We're leading the county.
That's a good size city.
So
you're 5,800. Well, Kingston's what?
Kingston's somewhere around 6,000.
They're not much bigger.
I think they're just a tad bigger. Rockwood is somewhere around 5,600, 5,700.
Wow,
So
I didn't think Rockwood was that big.
Well, I think that they may be around 5,400, but we're all within 200 or 300.
I haven't been to Rockwood since Junior's restaurant closed.
That's been a while.
It's been a while. That's right.
Downtown is completely a different look.
Yeah, the furniture store was across the street. And good town, good people. Everybody in Roane County, you get along. That's a lot of people. But that gives you good experience. I mean, you've managed something of that size and 6,000. You've been the leader, and how many council members?
We got 6.
Well, that's a nice size. Try dealing with 15 or 20. It's a mess. But Oak Ridge has 7. They seem to function pretty well. Let's take a 2-minute break, Brad, and then we'll come back and talk some more with Wayne Best, Roane County Executive candidate.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
D-E-P-R.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
It's the best 6 days of summer. The Anderson County Fair, July 18th through the 23rd. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Kids 15 and under get in free. It's all the fun and rides that you love. Regular admission is only $5 nightly or a $20 season pass. Pay one price available for nightly rides Thursday and Friday. And don't miss the 14th annual truck pull, July 18th through the 23rd. Be there for the best 6 days of summer.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Probably 12. That's a lot of votes. We're back, folks. We're talking Roane County. And we've been talking about Harriman. We're going to talk about some of the challenges with Wayne and see what is Roane County facing? Where do they need to go? Can you say, Woody's gone. I was there when Woody went in. I think Woody's done a B-plus job. I'm not there to give him a real grade. I just think that he was well-schooled. He used to come and work with us when he was at CTASC. He got wrapped up in the school controversies and other things. This is a guy looking from 500 miles away, right? I like him personally. I always like it when people know it's time to go, when they retire and they give somebody else a chance. So he gets points for that. But I don't know a lot about what Ron had in challenges. Other mayors respected him because of his knowledge of CTAS and stuff. So what are we left with? What do one of you four got to go in and do?
Well, I think first off, I think Ron has done a great job financially. I think that
That's a
Roane
skill,
County is in the best shape that it's probably ever been in financially. We've paid
What's the fund balance?
the fund balance.
Take a guess. 4 or 5 million? Anderson's up to 11 with internet too.
Yeah, I think they're around 8 or 9 million.
That's a lot of money.
But we are tax rates at 240 in the county, 232 inside the municipalities. So Ron's done a good job financially. I think Ron has got Roane County exactly where it needs to be on a financial scale.
There you go.
I think the new county executive is going to be facing a lot of issues that is coming up, and it's a lot of issues that we haven't had time to talk about as we've been out running. But one of the biggest issues we're going to face is fire protection. I was a fire chief 10 years in Harriman.
Right.
I know fire protection. Mm-hmm. Our volunteer fire departments, which covers the county has some paid ones, I think maybe 2 or 4, but the rest of it's volunteers, and people's not volunteering anymore. So I've talked to most of the fire chiefs, and we've got to figure out a plan that brings more volunteers out. We've got one department that has maybe 3 or 4 that shows up on a call. You can't hardly run a call because one in, one out, and you got to have a buddy system. So
I didn't even think about that. McDonald's and Panera can't get people. You're going to have people. You're going to have a hard time too.
It's very hard, and then you look at the workforce. Our workforce is low. It's all of the country's low.
Yeah.
Everybody's
the
having
plants
a problem.
are low. Everybody's low.
It's flipped from what it used to be, but I think it will come back. But right now, workforce is a problem. And we got to figure out how to work with our community colleges, how to work with TCAP, and support them, support our schools, and getting our kids ready for the workforce that they're going to be going out in. And I think we've got to face those things. Employees, salaries, insurance, everything's going up. and we've got to move with it, and trying to do that and keeping our tax low, because.
But here's your problem with the taxes. In Roane County, I want to make this clear. They're not responsible for what's about to happen to you. In other words, your rate is $240. The good news is your house was worth $150, but now it's worth $250.
Yes.
$240 on to $250 is a lot more than $240 on. When your tax rate bill goes up, if you've been paying $622 and all of a sudden you're paying $940, that's because your house is worth a lot more, not because anybody's raising your taxes. So be patient and be fair. You'll get it back someday, right?
You'll get it back, and the county just gave 6 cents back to the they got a 13-cent decrease, so they gave 6 cents back. Just did that on the tax rate. Good. So they are trying to work with people, but there's so much. We've got a jail issue that they talk about. Overcrowding. I think we've got that fixed, I hope. Yeah. But there's a lot of issues that we're going to have to face. Retaining employees, even from being the mayor of Harriman, we have 2 positions in the police department, 2 positions in the fire department. Our utility company, which used to everybody, if you got on at Harriman Utility Board, you felt good. It's hard to find workers now. So we've got to work to figure out, how do we close the gap? How do we fix it? We want to go get industry and grow Roane County and grow it responsibly, but where's the workforce coming from?
Well, you're going to have to be competitive financially. That's part of your problem. I mean, like in Oak Ridge, in the Anderson County, and Seabolt, they're getting 5% goals this year, maybe 7% next year. Mm-hmm. Well, that revenue's got to come from somewhere.
It's got to come from somewhere.
And so it's a challenge. I think you're facing economic challenges. We got a Fed that's sitting here saying, I got to go up 3/4 of a point to slow down inflation, which came out at 9.1 today for June. And yet, if I do that, I may stagnate the economy. So it's one of these games where it's really tricky. And I think each county is going to have to very carefully explain that to their voters. And we did that a couple weeks ago in Anderson County. We had some people on. And I think the key is that it's okay to pay more taxes if you got a house that's worth $100,000 more than it was last week. And I don't think it's going to cycle. I think Tennessee is such a good destination place. Your values in your homes are going to maintain, don't you think?
I think that, yes, I think we sit in a great position with our homes. I don't think we're going to be like some of the other states where they fluctuate up and down. I think ours is going to set and stay pretty much at that. And that's why we're seeing so many people come into the state of Tennessee and into Roane County and want a piece of the pie like we have. So I think we set in a good spot. But I think the challenges that we're going to face, we're going to have somebody that has dealt with those, somebody that has worked with those firsthand. That's something that it's hard to learn on the job. It's something that you have to get in there. You got to know how to budget with each department, how to work with each department,
and work with the municipalities,
and work with the municipalities. Sometimes municipalities get forgot about from county government because they only cover the county. They don't cover the municipality because they have their own governing board. And I think that we overlook that sometimes. And as a mayor, I look at it and sometimes I'll ask the question, what am I paying county taxes for and city taxes for?
Sure.
I'm getting services from the city, but I'm still paying county
Every
taxes.
Oak Ridger's narrative. Yeah.
And everybody says that. But we get a lot from the county. We're getting school systems. We're getting, so there's a lot more to it. But I think...
Well, people understand we have a jail. We have ambulance services generally in each county. There are significant services that municipalities do not duplicate.
You're exactly right.
Yeah, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Well, cities have a choice. They can opt in or opt out. They don't have to have municipality government.
Right.
So they choose to do that at a double taxation. That's life.
Yes.
And municipal taxes are usually less than county taxes.
Yeah.
The challenges are different. You mentioned that earlier when you talked about all of the fire and everything else and the challenges. And let me tell you something. Roane County, you well know more than that, has a unique outlay of municipalities. You got Oak Ridge, Clinton, and Lake City over here, and you got a little bit of Oliver Springs, and you may get a little north. You got 5, 6, 7 municipalities in Roane County, right? I mean, you go Rockwood, and you run over here, and you got Kingston, you got Harriman, you got Oliver Springs again. I mean, and those are significant communities, like you said. They're not 1,200 people.
They are. They're significant, and they make up a lot of who we are.
That's right.
And they are the #1 driving force for sales tax for tax revenue.
That's right.
Most of your sales tax is coming out of your municipalities,
Which has to be shared.
and which has to be shared. And
academically, for sure.
So municipalities are very important. The people, I've looked at this from different standpoints as being the mayor of a city and looking at running for a county executive position. And a lot of it, we do the same thing to a degree. I work on a multi-million-dollar budget every year.
Sure.
And I work with a bunch of different departments on making sure that those budget numbers add up and they're what they say. The same as the county.
Yeah, it's a unique part of your resume versus the other three, is to be fair, and I'm not being unbalanced in this, but most of the things that a mayor does, you've done on a different set.
Yes, I've done most of the things that I've been to industries to try to recruit. I've traveled to get recruitment. I've worked on infrastructure. I've worked on multi-million-dollar budgets. I've worked with a bunch of different departments. Police department wants this, and the fire department wants this, and the street department wants this, and the rec department wants this, and you got to try to make it all work. So I've done those things, and I'll say this, when I took over as mayor, and I followed a great person, you hit on him a while ago.
Oh Lord, go ahead. You can do it.
Chris Mason was a great mayor.
Was it? How long was he there?
Chris was there for 10 years.
Was he really?
About 9 years. He pulled a 4-year term and a 5-year term.
Who was before Chris?
Jerry Davis.
That's right.
And Jerry done a great job. Jerry was responsible for the Midtown project. So, but I came in behind Chris, and Chris had laid out a foundation.
He's one of my favorite Roane County figures, Chris.
You had to have a foundation, and he laid that foundation out, and I inherited it and started working it and started building a team, and that team started working it, and we've grown Harriman, and we've grown the pride back in Harriman. And that's what we want in Roane County. We want our pride. Each city is different. People used to say
it makes it hard to create. There'll always be a Clinton and Oak Ridge. Anderson County can live by the interstate, and they have great programs. But you don't. And then you go into a town. What's a good example? There's some areas and counties when you say Sequatchie County or you say Sullivan County, you think, man, that's our identity. Hard to do in Roane County.
Yes. Because we do have so much pride.
It's all
Kingston,
different.
Used to when you played football and baseball, it was the rivalries. We don't have the rivalries as to say anymore as we used to have. We go out to eat with them as soon as we get through playing ball with them anymore. But we still
not in my day.
We still are unique in our own ways. We each have our own specialty that we specialize in, and we need to respect that and help those communities grow. One of the number one things I've called each municipality and talked to them about, if I win this position, what can I do for you? Rockwood, what can I do for you? Kingston, what can I do for you? Midway, south of the river, what can I do for you? Oliver Springs, what can I do? Oak Ridge, what can I do for you? And it's all a little different, because the playing field's a little different in each place. But all of them said, have an open door policy. Be there to support us. Help us in our growth. Help us move forward. And I think that's what we do. I know that's what we do. We've done that in Harriman. We help every municipality. If Kingston grows, Harriman grows. If Rockwood grows, Harriman grows. And vice versa, we grow off each other. Because we don't have housing. We don't have anywhere to put it. We're landlocked just about in Harriman. Kingston and Rockwood is growing in housing. Who's benefiting tax-wise? They're benefiting off the property tax and some of the sales tax. We're benefiting off the sales tax big time, because they're coming to Lowe's and they're coming to Kroger's. They're coming to those shops and spending that money. So we're all reaping the benefits of each other. And we have to understand that more, that, guys, it's not that hard to work together. And we do. From the mayors, we have a mayor's meeting once a quarter. We work together, but I think we still got some areas in that to work together. I've been the mayor 6 years, and my council has never had a split in votes. They've always understood the direction and the plans that we had set forth, and they've worked together. We don't have that same thing right now with county commission.
We could call that a monopoly too.
You could call that.
But
yes.
Shouldn't they argue sometimes?
Well, they do. Now, we don't have always 6-0 vote.
Okay.
You know, we may have a 4-2 or something, but it's always to move forward.
Okay.
And I think that's what we got to get to, is moving our county forward. We can sit and kick the can down the road all day long, and we can sit and agree to disagree and stay stalemate. Or we can agree that, hey, guys, we've got to move forward. And Roane County over the last 10 years, as everybody's seen, we've lost population instead of grown population. Now, I think it'll change when the next census comes out, which is 7-8 years, but we flatlined, and we flatlined because
Oak Ridge should be picking up. Those developments just west of Oak Ridge are just.
Oh, the preserve is,
the preserve is beautiful.
Almost 400 homes there and growing.
And 400,000 each.
Yes. So everywhere is growing. Rockwood has got a great marina coming in. They got housing developments happening. Kingston City just approved another housing development that will do another 100 and something homes.
Yeah.
So everybody is growing, and I think that we, from the county standpoint, we have to make sure that all those pieces come together, that we all work on the same direction, same plan to some degree. Now, each municipality is their own, but I think we have to be going in the same direction. If you go down a street and it goes 3 or 4 different ways, and everybody goes those different directions.
You can argue how fast we're going, but we've got to stay on the same road.
We've got to stay on the same road.
On that, we'll take another break. Chandler.
Always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
It's the best 6 days of summer. The Anderson County Fair, July 18th through the 23rd. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Kids 15 and under get in free. It's all the fun and rides that you love. Regular admission is only $5 nightly or a $20 season pass. Pay one price available for nightly rides Thursday and Friday. And don't miss the 14th annual truck pull, July 18th through the 23rd. Be there for the best 6 days of summer.
Always ready, always there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Welcome back. We're talking to Wayne Best, County Executive Candidate in Roane County, present Mayor of Harriman. A lot of experience talking to us about a lot of stuff. Federal government, big deal for Roane County. I mean, just in lieu of taxes, federal government, your relationship with the federal government's important.
It's very important. It's one of the most important things that we have with the county.
Yeah.
It is one of the biggest tax things that we get. As I said, I look at the sales tax and didn't understand how Anderson County, how Oak Ridge Park was paying sales tax. I didn't know where it was coming from, but it's coming from the property in lieu of tax.
Sure.
And that generates about $400,000 or $500,000 a month.
There's only one plant in Anderson County.
Only one.
Y12. I mean,
yes.
ORNL and all of the developments in the west where K25 was, the Heritage Center, all that's Roane County based.
It's all Roane County.
So it's a big role for you, and to get involved, to work with those people, and I think that's something that you know, it's a worthwhile thing. You learn a lot. And as you said, the former mayor, or the present mayor, I should say, Ron Woody, he's done a lot of work with those people over the years, and I've done a lot of work with those people, and I think that I think it'll go smooth for you. I really do. If you get elected, I think you'll have a good time with that. But it's very important.
I think it's a lot more important than what people see, because it is a big chunk of who we are. Over 3,000 acres there on the preserve. But what we look at is, I've talked to Mr. Woody numerous times about Oak Ridge, about the growth. We've got some things coming in right now, whether it's Corky Pharmaceutical out on Duck Island. There's a lot going on there, and we've got to keep that relationship. It's our biggest employer in Roane County. So,
and biggest one in Anderson County. I mean, there's a lot of work. Y-12 is the biggest plant, so Anderson balances, but. And CNS has done a good job. I mean, you talk about a tough 5 years. COVID, people not working, salaries, continuations, an administration shift, which has made everything different, and may shift right back. So, those are the kind of things you face in government that you have to work with. And you have to make those contacts within the Department of Energy.
Yes.
And E-Tech's helpful, and there's a few other things that really help you get across the guide. And probably, and I can say this, talking to congressmen regularly, Chuck Fleischman's probably, and obviously a friend, but he's probably the most knowledgeable energy congressman of the 435. I mean, everybody goes to him for everything because it's a big part of his world. He has to. A lot of people think he's from Oak Ridge. I mean, it's one of those things. You talk so much about the energy. Woody's got the same thing. If you hang around Ron long enough, you really understand that Ron has to. Of course, Kingston's kind of melded into that, but that's part of it. Tell me what you think about, bringing the county together requires bringing a demographic. I don't know how to define it. But West Oak Ridge and Kingston have a unique kind of a personality. You go over Hilltop and you're in another world. You go through Auburn Springs, Harriman Highway. It's more rural, traditional Tennessee. Good people. And, of course, I always have to go right to Morgan County. But if you go straight and get up there, the lumber, I remember the lumber yards from when I was a kid, going by lumber and everything. A lot of history up there. How does a person... in downtown Kingston ever really gravitate with pride with that guy in Dillis and Harriman? Is it possible culturally, or are we better off bringing Yankees down here? I mean,
I think we already have a lot of that. I have a lot of close friends that live in Kingston, Rockwood, Oak Ridge, Oliver Springs, Midway. I think we already have a lot of that, and we build a lot of that.
I don't know.
Even from our children playing ball together.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Whether it's travel ball or whatever, we communicate, and a lot of us work together. Whether it be at Oak Ridge or whether it be
that's a good point.
At Rockwood Industrial Park. But I think we all, if you take us all and you put us together, we all have the same dreams just about, and the same outlook.
Very good point.
Used to, if you was from across the bridge, well, you was looked down on, or if you was, it's not that way anymore.
Okay.
I think that we all have the same vision, and the vision is to have the best quality of life that we possibly can. And what better place than Roane County to have that?
Yes.
We have the waterways, we have the mountains, we have everything that we possibly could want.
It's a beautiful lake, I'll say that.
It is, and that's one of our number one tourist attractions is our water.
A lot of Oak Ridges have retired out there.
And I seen something the other day. I think it said that Roane County was the seventh most popular county in the state to retire to.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
We want all those retirees, and we want their money.
Yeah.
But we've got to also have the workforce. We still need those. Our children. As my children grew up, I need them to stay in Roane County. I need that workforce, and I've been lucky. You've
done a good job of that. It sounds like.
I've been lucky that all of mine has, except for my son, and he works in Knoxville. But
that's not too far.
That's not too far.
Still wears
and
orange. Still wears orange.
It's on the west side of Knoxville, but it is. I think that we're getting past a lot of that, and I think that we are growing together, and I think that it's a lot easier now than it was 10 years ago.
Well, it's funny. You get the kids get away. That's just part of it. And you wish them the best. They got to grow and everything, et cetera, et cetera. I really feel like I just look at my Roane County history and I think of all the tracks and the areas and the coming in, and I think I just think there's just so many cultural differences. And I say that in a positive way. There's just a lot of difference in Roane County. my whole world pretty much in younger was getting to the 356 mark, going right and heading for Nashville. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time except a little bit of politicking in the 80s and playing sports. Now, we were all over there playing sports, but I think there's a lot of areas where you can tie in and build Roane County and have pride in the culture. And what you're telling me is it's happening naturally. So it's progressing naturally.
Some of it is, most of it is, but I think that, and I look at this position as county executive. I know it's the fiscal agent for the county, responsible for the budget and different things, but there's a lot of hats that person wears over a lot of different departments.
Sure.
But I think, to me, one of the number one things is, besides the budget, is growing those relationships with each other. And I think that you do that by being out in it.
I think that'd be accessible. I do think that.
I think that you are the face of the county.
That's right.
And, I told somebody this morning, I said, if I expect Justin Snow from the IDB to go to North Carolina and recruit a business, who do you think is going to be sitting in that seat beside of him? Me.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I want them to know how important it is that they come to Roane County. I think we have to sell our county. They're not just coming and knocking on our door anymore. Used to you could get that. You don't get that anymore. You have to go get them.
It's competition.
But it's competition, and it's what can you give me? What can you do for me? But they got to buy into you. They got to buy into, when we got a restaurant here recently in Harriman, it's because the developer bought into me. I went twice to his hometown to meet with him and stuff, but he bought into me. He bought into, I believe what you tell me, and I believe that you'll do what you tell me.
That's exactly what recruiting is. I'm in the development business. I know you're telling right.
So people's got to trust you. But Roane County, as far as working together, we still want to be, I think that the overall picture is we still want to have our own identity, whether it's Harriman, Kingston, Rockwood, south of the river, Oak Ridge, Oliver Springs. We all still want to have our own identity. But we also want to have the identity that we work together, and we're one team. We're a bunch of little teams, but we're one main team that is here for the betterment of our children.
And I've always made the argument that the one thing that brings everybody together, and I've had friends, the one thing that makes everybody kind of on the same team is Saturday afternoons in the fall. I mean, you don't matter where you go, and people know I grew up a Notre Damer, and I always have season tickets to UT. I love UT, but I'm a Notre Dame guy too. And I went to, but it doesn't matter whether you're in Kingston, whether you're in Dillis, whether you're in Wartburg, everybody's orange. And that's kind of a great unifying thing. Everybody, I have season tickets, and I love it. And I think the cultural togetherness of everybody being in ball country is as big to me as just the games itself. It's amazing. Our band's the best. Everything's the best. The new coach is great. I know him. He's a great guy. Great. Get him on. And we don't play defense. I ask him all the time. I'll say to him, how's our recruiting on defense? Not him. I'm talking about other people in the system. But not to put words in his mouth. But I'll talk to other people in the system. I'll say, former players mainly, and I'll say, how's we doing on defense? We don't care anymore.
Score that many points and just
if you can keep up, keep up. Yes. That's right. We don't care anymore. We expect you to give up points, but we're going to go right back down the field.
And most of our mentality, we want points. Yeah. We want offense.
It's fun to watch the 48 game. Sure,
it really is.
And we've seen some sloppy games over the years. I mean, to let when Baker Mayfield came back, I was down on the 20-yard. I mean, that we've struggled for offense.
Yes.
And it gives this guy credit. He was a great quarterback too, but gives this guy credit. He is moving the ball, and that makes everybody in Roane County happy.
Makes everybody in East Tennessee, and that's a prime example of pride.
Yeah.
If you live in East Tennessee, and even if you're not a Vol fan, you respect the Vol fan.
That's right.
Because our blood runs so orange, and we love it so much. That's all we think about.
In '98, they were going to play the national championship, and some of my buddies said, who are you for? Well, obviously I wasn't for Florida State. The question is, how bad do you want UT to win this? But it was like this is midseason stuff. I said I want them to win it real bad, and I said because if Tennessee wins the national championship, our economy will boom for 4 months. People will be in the best moods ever. Oh, I got bit by a dog. It's probably my fault.
Yeah.
But let Florida State win or let us not qualify for that game, and everybody's in a bad mood for a month.
Yep.
That's a great trait for an area. I mean, Tennessee football is really really, really a special thing. And I think that's a big thing for Roane County.
And it's not just football now. You know, it's basketball, it's baseball, it's, you know,
Baseball did have a lot this year, didn't it?
Well, and we've got one of the players going to be at Harriman starting tomorrow. We're doing the state tournament for the 12U throughout the state. We got 24 teams coming in from all over the state, and we have one of the UT baseball players going to be there, one of the pitchers, Kirby Canal, and people are loving it. You know, even though that UT didn't make it, where we was hoping they'd make it in baseball. We was just happy that they're there, that they're back on the. And it's the same thing with Roane County. We're, you know, when Oliver Springs goes to the state, or Kingston goes to the state, or Midway or Rockwood, as Roane Counties, we all support them. Yeah. You know, used to, I remember we didn't do that.
That's true. When I was at the Harriman basketball game in the state, there were some other schools in Roane County that stayed behind to watch them play and cheer for them.
Yeah, so we support each other. Things have changed, and you know, and I think it continues to change. But I think there's no more place that I'd rather be than in Roane County, Tennessee. And I think that a lot of people are seeing that. They're seeing what we have, and they want a piece of it.
Well, and a mayor needs to bring that enthusiasm. I've worked with enough clients and people over the county that if you can bring that kind of enthusiasm, it makes a big difference. I think Glenn Jacobs has done a good job. I mean, whether you know his politics or not, he's there, he's involved, he's energetic. Obviously, he has a little bit to bring because he has a history in wrestling and stuff. But he there's just something about him, a presence that makes everybody feel good when they're around him. And that's what you got to develop. Let me ask you one question. How many commissioners on Roane County Commission?
15.
Okay, Anderson has 16. Okay, 15. Do you sit on the commission?
I do not.
Okay, good. You don't want to. You had that option in Anderson for a while, but don't do it. The mayor doesn't want to be in there. It's a mess. Divide, tackle votes, be the chairman. I mean, there's some of that. So you stay out of that. Okay, that's good. So you got 15 people, and you're in there. Here's my question. How many of those 15 are women?
Right now, 1.
That's right. Are there women on the ballot across the thing?
Let's see. There's one in Rockwood. Okay. And then Miss Charlotte is back on there for the
Oak Ridge side.
Okay.
It's funny, I don't follow those races. They call me about her all the time.
There's one in the Midway area, south of the river. So there's 2 or 3 on the ballot. But it's great having Miss Bowers on there. She does great.
Let me tell you about commissions. I'm involved in advising probably, I'd say 30 or 40 of those type of races. Knoxville, there's 11 commissioners, 2 at large, 9 districts, however it breaks down. New woman. 4 women, maybe 5 will be on commission out of the 11. 3 are already in. Another one's going to get in. And 2 are already on. Maybe it could be 5. Not a majority, but it could be 5. And that's 5 out of 11 versus 2. In Anderson County, we're going to see 3 or 4. There was 2. And 1 and 2 alternative. But I just think what we're talking about nationally is there's just a big influx of women running for office and being very successful at it. And they're very good at it. And they're very good.
They're very good.
And they deserve. They're very committed. They have a lot of less issues than we do. I'll just say that. I mean, it's not as personal as it is communal for them. And, and they've done a wonderful job in campaigning this year. And like the Republican Party 2 years ago went out and recruited all women for challengers and minorities. And they took 15 seats. And it's going to be the same way this year. It's going to be women running all over the Republican ballot. And normally you see that on the Democratic ballot, but you don't see it as much.
I think it's important.
We got to have it.
Bring a different
viewpoint.
Have it. So I think
nothing's worse, and I'm one of them, but nothing's worse than going to a meeting with 15 old white guys sitting around talking. I mean, it don't get any worse than that. You know, I mean, and that's what we joke about, you know, and and it's more gender than anything else. It's all, the boys, they get around, yeah, you're right, Bob, you're right. Whereas women say, well, maybe not. Maybe we ought to try this. So I get a kick out of that. And that's all my personal opinion. Please don't hold that to Wayne or any other elected official. As a campaign manager, I'm just excited to see women playing a bigger role.
Yes.
And one of the things we learn in politics is it's trust factors, and people trust women. You trust your mother. You trust your, you don't know what your buddy's doing, but it's it.
That's exactly right.
But you got some challenges and some balance. So I was just curious how that was working over there. It seems like it's moving a little bit, but it's about the same, Trent.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody on commission except my friend Greg Ferguson. That's the only one. He's running in.
Greg is running. He's running in my district, in the
Is he?
Harriman district. And
Known Greg a
I think there's
long
9
time.
running in that district
Ugh.
for 3 seats.
Oh, is it 3 seats?
So, this, all 15 are running.
Is Greg currently on there?
Greg is currently on there.
Okay.
But there's 15 running, and it's a very important election.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of issues we've talked about today.
Yeah.
I think that Roane County is alive and moving, and we've got to be ready. If we're not ready, we're going to get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it impresses me when I see so many people running, because that shows that people are interested. They're interested in what's going on. I don't think that we have so many running because they don't like this one or they don't like that one. I think they're running because they're interested.
I do too.
They
care.
love the community. They care.
That's
And,
exactly right.
So we're blessed with that.
Okay. You go in day one, September 1st, you get elected, you go in September 1, what do you do day one?
Start meeting with my staff.
Okay.
The first thing I want to do is start meeting with my staff and looking
What kind
at
of staff
policies.
will you have? It's like
Well,
3 or 4?
There's, I think there's 2 at the
Are
front.
you on the 57 or the 81 Budget Act?
57.
Oh, well, the mayor has a lot of power under 57.
Yeah.
Under 57, you appoint the budget committee, you do all that. Under 81, I believe it's 81. It's 81 or 83, but I think it's 81. The commission breaks all
Yes,
that out, and
yes.
you're one of several.
Yeah.
That's a big jump, 57. I think there's only 9 counties left on 57.
There's not many. We're
It's really
one of the
small.
few, and but there's a lot of staff. There's a lot of staff that there's almost 100 staff members.
All the
that's
department
under
heads
that.
report to you on
So
57. yeah.
it is it's an important job, but I think day one you start meeting. I've already been meeting with some of them, just talking about.
Good.
But if elected, the most important thing is sit down and talk to them. I've had people say, "Well, are you going to fire this?" I'm not firing anybody.
Yeah, until you evaluate.
I'm an accountability guy.
That's
You
right.
do your job and you do it well. We're all good. I have no plans of firing anybody. I just want people to know that.
I'll tell you,
It's just-
in my opinion, 3 most important things you can do when you go in as county mayor is, 1, make the rules clear. The expectations,
Yes.
not rules. Make your expectations clear. Here's where we've gone. I don't know where you've been, but here's where we are, and here's where we're going to go, and we're going to evaluate what we do and how we work together proactively and see if it's a fit. We're going to see if we all fit together, and we'll make changes if we need to. But we don't want to.
Right.
Number 2, your budget director's your whole life. I mean, you've got to
Whole
have the
life.
right budget director.
You're exactly right.
I've worked with it for a long time. We had maybe the best in East Tennessee history in Gail Cook, who went on to Clinton a few years later, but came aboard in '98. But just real smart, real detailed, buttoned down, non-political, and that's what you need. I guess you have a zoning department.
Zoning department.
That's
yes.
one gets all the calls.
That's that's probably the number one call.
Yeah.
It's
Animal control's the number one call.
building inspecting and zoning and all those things.
What do you mean my block's too high?
Yes.
Oh, good luck with that.
But there's a lot of different things that make it up.
Do you have a zoning department?
Yes.
And they do inspection and all of that stuff. Well, who has animal control?
Roane County Animal Control. So that's under us too. We have an animal shelter.
Connected to the sheriff's department at all, or police or anything? Okay.
No, it's
See, in
separate.
Oak Ridge, it gets connected to the police department.
Yeah, ours is separate.
It is an interesting too. I think that now we've privatized most of that. I don't follow it, to be honest with you. I do mostly federal and state stuff, so I can't get at it. But there's a lot of challenges for a mayor under the 57 Budget Act. You're running the county, basically.
You're running the county.
That's why your experience is so important.
And I say this, when I become Mayor of Harriman, I built a team. I built a successful team.
You gotta
the
have
same way with the county. I can't do it by myself.
No.
I've got to have a team, budget directors and commissioners, and we all play a role.
Yeah.
And but a team, we've got to play as a
Is your
team.
purchasing agent separate from your budget director?
Yes.
Get that? I mean, you got an inner circle there with those 3 or 4.
Yes.
You got to have it right.
Yes. Yep.
You got to have it right. And those are good. That's a good thing. Zoning's big. Then you got all your elected officials.
Yes.
We're going to move Mason out and put him in some small building somewhere. If you got the building, can you do that for me? Can you take Chris's office and put it somewhere else?
He's got a lot of support down there. So
He does. You may not want to tackle that.
he didn't have an income at this time, so I may not want to mess with Chris.
No, he's a character. Now, you talk about a UT fan. Whew.
Yeah. Well, and he's an asset. Chris is an asset to Roane County. He does
is.
a great
He is.
job.
He would do as well in Louisville or Philadelphia.
Anywhere
He's
he
got
goes.
that personality.
I hired his brother as my city manager in Harriman.
Did you?
Scott, which was principal at Midway for, 15, 20 years. I hired him as our city manager in Harriman, and he's doing an outstanding job.
How long has he been there?
He's been there almost a year now.
Wow.
And has done outstanding.
Well, it sounds like he had the background, the education to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of the Mason name, they're good blood, just good people.
I'm not even know how to respond to that. Let me. I'm not even going to talk about that. Yeah. I'll see you at Billy's Timeout Deli, Chris. I think you got a big challenge. I do think your experience is important.
It's very important.
I like Wade. I don't know the women, but I think your experience of running a city is very valuable. And I think putting teams together in budgets. That doesn't mean any of the other three couldn't do the same thing.
I think we're all qualified in our own ways.
That's right.
But I think it's very important that I've done a lot of this, and city and county is different, but a lot of it's the same. And I feel like that I bring that to the table. I've already worked on the multi-million-dollar budgets.
And I think you have an advantage in that people know you over there. You've had to deal with different fire and different things, and that's strong. I mean, you seem to be strong in those rural areas, and don't lose track with that. That's what really matters. The mayor needs to be at Hardee's in the morning on Saturday. Yes. He needs to be down over there, and he needs to work the forgotten parts. And nobody runs down to Dillis very often. I mean, you got to get out there and. My big thing in Dillis is when Dennis used to put the big truck out there. Remember right there driving through?
Yes.
He put that big truck up through there, and he was something. And I think Ken Yeager did a decent job as a mayor.
I think Ken done a great job.
Yeah,
I mean, he was there for 30 years, and I think he done a great job.
Yeah, and he's I've helped Ken. I think Ken's a good senator and has been a good leader.
He is a good asset for Roane County and all the counties around.
He's been helpful. Him and McNally both have been helpful.
You can call Ken, and he's going to answer. If he don't, he's going to call you back.
Yeah,
so
Ken's a good guy. I really like Ken a lot. We worked with him some last year on some things, and he's really good. What do you want to tell the people of Roane County? That's what you got to tell them. Tell them.
When you go out and vote, early voting starts this Friday, the 15th, and goes through the 30th. And then we have Election Day on the 4th. When you go vote, look at the experience. Look at the person you're voting for. Whoever you think will do the best job, that's who I want you to vote for. I do have the experience as running a city, running multiple departments, running multi-million-dollar budgets. I've been a local business owner for over the last 25 years. I've done a lot of different things as far as in the community. Been on different boards, been the chairman of different boards. So hope to get your vote, hope to earn your support, and no matter what, go out and vote. It's very important. It's one of the freedoms that we still have.
Facebook?
Facebook is Wayne Best for County Executive.
Okay, and you got a website?
I do, WayneBestForCountyExecutive.com.
Wayne Best, all one word, for CountyExecutive.com. So they can look you up and look your resources up. Any events coming up?
We have the Reagan dinner tomorrow night.
Is that Roane County?
That's
Who's your guest
County?
Speaker? I never know either. That's it.
Know.
Somebody's supposed to be speaking, though, right?
But it is over in Kingston at Lola's, so excited about it.
Sure.
And state tournament coming up this weekend in Harriman.
Okay.
Great things.
Support your local schools.
Support your local schools.
We've got to do that. We appreciate all our sponsors and everybody that's watched the show. We appreciate Wayne Best running for County Executive. And study your candidates, and Wayne's right. Go vote. Early voting starts tomorrow. Go vote.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of threatening calls from telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. These calls are not from us. Hang up and report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Because no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
The life of every child is precious. If you care for a child or teenager with a disability and have limited income and resources, they may qualify for monthly cash payments through the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI-Kids to learn more. That's ssa.gov/SSI-Kids. Message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
It's the best 6 days of summer. The Anderson County Fair, July 18th through the 23rd. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Kids 15 and under get in free. It's all the fun and rides that you love. Regular admission is only $5 nightly or a $20 season pass. Pay one price available for nightly rides Thursday and Friday. And don't miss the 14th annual truck pull, July 18th through the 23rd. Be there for the best 6 days of summer.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.